Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what it is. First Formation Morning Sports Talk. It's me, your boy Trey, my man Bishop. It's the day after his aforementioned hump day. Bishop, what's good with you, bro? What's going on?
WGO, WGO, what's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing this morning, man? What's good with y'all? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Man, I made formation falling. As you know, man, today is Thursday. We one day closer to what? The weekend. But not
Hmm.
only that, today is St. Patty's Day. Good morning, Jackie. How you doing? Hopefully you got on green jacket for
Good
St.
morning,
Patrick's
Jack.
Day.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. St. Patty's Day, if you don't have green on, then look to get pinched somewhere sometime today. You might want to get a green ribbon or something, but you better
Bro,
throw
can
on
you
some
imagine,
green.
can you remember growing up with that?
Oh, going to elementary school, kids just waiting on you, looking at everything from head to toe, see if you got anything green on.
See, I always thought I was safe because growing up, because I have green eyes. So when my eyes would be color green, I would always thought I was good. That wasn't no, that wasn't really the case.
The
But of
thing.
course, once we put on the fatigues, hey, every
Hmm.
day was St. Patrick's Day. Every weekend, every week.
That's right, every week. Agreed.
Hated for the Air Force and the Navy.
Yeah. Unfortunately for them. What up,
Yeah.
Freddie? Good morning, bro. Good
What's
morning.
good,
Good to see
Freddie?
you.
What's good? So what you got into yesterday, Bishop? What was cracking before we get
Oh
into
man,
this?
I
What
didn't
you got
do
into?
too much. I didn't do too much anything yesterday. I pretty much chilled out. Went ahead and did my brackets. I was doing it, as you saw, I was doing breaking news. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, I see you. Good morning, Anthony. Breaking news, something going on. Anthony got going on. I'm looking. But yeah, I didn't do too much. I got my brackets in, like I said.
You
I
know what?
got
I
my
see
bracket.
your bracket. I looked last night. I see your bracket.
Oh, you know what? I didn't see the link either.
All right, I had to send it to
Yeah,
you because you know
I
it's a
didn't see the
couple. It's a
link.
couple of hours. It's
I
only a
did
couple
my
of
bracket
hours.
through the app. Remember I was telling you about the app. I
Ah,
did my
okay,
bracket through
okay,
the app, and then I posted mine on Facebook on my page. So
okay,
it's
okay.
on my page. My bracket is on my page. But you do listen, for those of the people that want to get their brackets done, you have
You
up
got a little
until
time.
12 p.m. Eastern
Hmm.
Standard Time today to get your bracket in.
11 o'clock. So basically, when we get off the show,
Yeah,
if you got to do it while you're on the
before
show,
the show
make it
ends.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll make it
yeah.
happen. Let me see.
Before the show ends, you gotta have that bracket in, cause and then for women's, you have to have it in by 11 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. I did two for the men's. I might do one more. I don't know yet. I did two for the men. I did one for the women. I owe women another one, and I might do another one for the men, or I might do another. I might make it 3 and 3, men and women. All depends. What'd you do
Okay,
yesterday outside of the game?
like you said, just went basically the went and took care of the game. I ran around, bro. It's like it was all work.
What up, Wayne?
Everything was work infused. I sent it to your messenger. Everything was work infused yesterday, man. I was like running back and forth. I had a meeting to go to. After the meeting, I had to run and go. What's good, Wayne? What's good? After the meeting, I had to run and go pick up the trophy and stuff for the basketball game last night. It was just nonstop. I went to pick up the trophy. I was like sitting there, and the dude, I was in my meeting, and the guy was trying to get in contact with me about the trophy. I had got a call earlier telling me that the trophy, that everything was paid for. I just need to go scoop it up. So I'm thinking like, okay, everything's good, not a problem. Then I get a call while I'm in another meeting, and the guy he's calling me. Basically, I was like, "All right, man, I'm on my way," because I'm thinking like, okay, he's just calling me to let me know, hey, the trophy, that everything's good, he's ready to go. So I hit him up. I was like, yeah, I was like, I'll be there in a few minutes, and I stopped for a second, and then I get a text message. And I didn't read the text message initially until I was getting ready to pull off. And then I looked, and my man tells me that it was a glitch in the website and that the trophy ain't gonna be here till Friday. I'm thinking to myself,
And he
like, you
just
kidding?
and he just and he just found that out the day of.
Yeah,
Why wasn't
a
it done?
couple of
Wait, why
hours.
wasn't it done prior to? Like
Well,
that should have been done.
some of it was on me. I'll say that.
Okay.
I didn't go. I waited. Actually, I should have went and in my opinion, I should have went and took care of it at least at the minimum last week, at the end of last week, i.e. Thursday or Friday. But usually Fridays I don't work, so I took it. So as opposed to getting up and going to do that, I took a little time off. I mean, I was like, man, I'm finna go after we got off the show. I sat down for a second, maybe took a little nap, and then I got up.
Hmm.
I was like, I'll do it Monday. And so, of course, that led to that. And I was like, ah, man, I was like, I should have just went ahead with my first mind and got up and went and took care of it on Friday or Thursday, like I said. But um, I try to keep a backup plan. So basically, uh we did a plaque instead. It's actually a all right plaque. It should be posted today on the Fort Polk MWR Facebook page with them winning. The FSC team from 230th Infantry Battalion, Fort Polk. They ended up winning 60-52. It was a back and forth
Okay.
game, man. They
Okay.
came out hot. They was running through them at first, and then, like I said, the team they played against was last year's champion. So
Hmm.
they came back. Uh, they came back. Hey, we go. Laugh. I think we talked about this before. Bishop, just in general, not him do it, but the whole beat your face. Like I think we talked about that. But we'll get
Right.
on that in a second. But so I yeah, we they ended up coming back, and it was they got tied twice. It was like late in the second half of the game because we played 2 20-minute halves. It was like midway through the second half before they even got a chance to get the lead. They got the lead, and then next you know you blinked, and then the other team was back up again, and then you blink again, it's tied up, and you blink again. It was a 1 point lead from the
Hmm.
ex champions, and then at some point they just they just couldn't get it done. And like I guess it was, it seems like it was a little fatigue just in general.
Hmm.
They high, like I said, they call it dead shot. So with the name dead shot, you can assume what that means, and it
Right.
was more like off shot. So,
Okay.
but yeah, so that's, what I'm saying, that's finished. I get a little breather before we get ready to start the hottest part of the season around here is softball season. So it was like
So
people
it's
been
big.
hitting
It's
me
big out
up,
there.
and I get emails and stuff.
So
Huh?
softball was big out there.
Oh yeah, softball. It's softball's finna go down around here. Actually softball, in my opinion, from the time I've been working, softball and flag football rules the land. Softball and then flag football is a all right second, and then everything else is pale in comparison.
Okay.
So they get it in around here in softball. Yeah, you officiate softball?
So I did when I was out there at Fort Hood. I haven't done it since. Yeah, I haven't done it since. But yeah. So to do softball,
It's a
man, to be
lot.
honest with you, Trey, well, it's the heat, man. Because you know softball is in the middle of the summer, man, for the most part. And that softball, being out there in that heat, it takes a different type of person. Because unlike football and other type of sports, softball ain't no running. You just standing still.
You stand in the
You turn
same spot.
around, you may look, yeah, behind the plate, you ain't running at all. You just standing there, so you just baking, like you like bacon,
Bacon.
like pork bacon. You just baking, bro. Like it's crazy. So, but guess what though?
Them
It's
check.
crazy though because softball pays the most.
I was about to say them softball checks.
Yeah, they pay like one of the guys was telling me for softball to officiate softball game they pay like $65 a game
Mm.
compared to my $25 a
I was
game.
about to say $25, $65 an hour.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and you know when they had them tournaments, you know how many softball games is in a tournament? Because we went from gambling in Vegas to hunting Jesus. Oh, you got a lot. That's a good one, Anthony. That's a
What's
good one.
good,
I like
Key?
it.
What's good, Key? What's good
Good
with you?
morning, Key. We ain't seen you in a while,
An-
Key. Where you been? Where you been?
Anthony is a
You
fool,
been
man.
hiding on us. Anthony is stupid, man.
That's
He's a
the
clown.
we
Anthony
like
is
we was
stupid.
just talking about the checks, getting them officiating checks and making he able to do that, travel the
Yes, that's
country
right. Now say that part. That part.
all in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you gotta be versatile. You gotta be versatile. Work, but I feel you, Key. I feel you. Okay. Okay. keep working. I feel you gotta make that money.
Yeah,
Don't let that money make you.
yeah. Steven is an avid softball player, so I'm very sure he was going to
That's
chime in
what's
on
up,
that.
Steve. So with that trade, are you doing anything with um what is this Heroes
Oh, Hero Sports.
Sports? That's it.
So
What up?
not
What
here
up,
on
Brad? What up? What up? What up?
not so of course not here, but I mean might be able to get on with Mike and see, what I'm saying, what they got going on, see what collabs we can get down with.
Yeah.
But here, like as far as like for
What's good,
intramural
Steve?
sports or the or for I don't think so. I know our in our the Fort Polk, I put quotations, the Fort Polk in the middle, the Fort Polk team, I guess you could say post team, or as they call Polk Elite, is
Mhm.
supposed to scrimmage not this weekend, next weekend against Barksdale Air Force Base on here on Fort Polk. So they'll have that going on.
Okay.
But I know it's getting in closer in the softball season. You know, Mike is going to be in that. I think next weekend. I think it's next weekend. They're going to Hero Sports is going to be participating with the Nationals, the up in Sam Houston, Joint Base San Antonio. So I know he'll
Oh,
be there for
okay.
basketball. So, but I'm not sure what's going on. But I'm sure he has something. He'll take a look at his website and Facebook page that has something going on for softball, and maybe we can sit up and get up with him. Oh, Street. I know Street. Matter of fact, Street officiates. Steve. I was just talking to him last night. He officiated the game last night.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I know who Street.
And
I know who Street is.
Key, why don't you play softball? You said you love or wish you could play again. Is there a reason why you don't play? If I may ask, is there something that's stopping you from playing? Is it work related or is it something outside of that? Um, yeah, man. Softball is big. That's one of the big games around these parts, man.
Yeah,
Um,
get them
Since
softball checks.
softball chips, bro. Yeah. So I'm thinking about it. I'm debating whether or not I want to do it. Oh, Key says she haven't found teams where I'm at. Where are you at, Key? If you don't mind me asking, where are you? Because I'm sure we can get you connected to some people so you can find out, even if it's Mike, to where we can find out, if there's some
Got something
places in
going
your
on in
area.
the area. If she
Oh,
in
you in
Philly,
Philly?
yeah, I knew that. I already knew that.
Ooh, you in Philly?
I'm very sure they got a pretty
Okay.
good ball playing in Philly. Probably just not in her area, like she said.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We
Steve,
can try to do
where the
some
hot
looking.
where the hot spots? Oh, he said he in Aiken, South Carolina. Okay.
Oh,
It's
South.
where the
So
hot
yeah,
spot
yeah.
at. Where the hot spots at, Steve? I know you know some tournaments going down.
Yeah, yeah, Steve know all the tournaments. I'm sure if he a big baseball softball fan like that, I'm sure he know where all the tournaments. Just like Mike, I'm sure Mike know where all the tournaments at too. Yeah, Mike Barker, Hero Sports.
If we say something about Aaron Rodgers, he'll pop up.
Steve, you still in the military? Are you still in the military? Are you playing with the military? Are you playing military?
He's just playing military ball.
Oh, Ranger. Are you from Alabama? Columbus, Florida, South Carolina, those areas. Oh, those are the ones that's got the tournaments getting ready to come up. So I just coach basketball. Oh, I got you. Ain't nothing wrong with that, kid. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I used to coach basketball, youth basketball, and then I coached intramural basketball when I was in Korea. No sir, retired in 2018. Okay, got you. Ain't mad at you, Trey. You know what that mean?
No, we talked to him before.
Oh, word?
Yeah, he playing.
Oh, he the one that's playing around. Okay,
Yeah, he
we'll
be
move
one.
on. We'll
It's
move
we
on.
got plenty of those. We talked to him before.
Y'all see what it is. We'll move him around. We'll move him around. But
So,
yeah, man,
but
we
yeah,
got a lot of stuff going on yesterday in the NBA as well as in the NFL. A lot of moving parts, which we expected, Trey. It's that time of the year when it comes to football, NFL.
it's
This time is
open.
very, very hectic. A lot of pulling of the hair, I'm sure, of coaches and owners and general managers trying to figure out to move these pieces around and get a somewhat perfect team to try and host the Lombardi for the 2022 season. What you thinking? What your thoughts?
It's a lot of on paper champions at this point, but but
It's a lot of what?
on paper we see a lot of on paper championships right now, where he's like,
Oh,
oh
paper
man, they done
champions.
got together, yeah, on paper champions. Uh, at the end of the day, or on paper champion contenders, possibly. Uh, as we know, of course, you know what I'm saying, it's more of an addition right now. Is the transitions edition, as we know yesterday. Bishop, do you think this is the hottest and the most the biggest move yesterday, or even in for the sake of the matter, for the year with Von Miller going to the
Moving over
Bills,
to Bills.
6 years, 120 million
So I will say this. I
at
was
33
shocked.
years old. At 33 years
Yeah,
old,
I would say I was shocked because I really thought he was gonna run it back with the Rams.
hmm
But to see that he's not, yeah, that really shocked me because I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. I just knew. I thought him, Donald, were all going to try and make a run for it again. Um, Excuse me, and it was kind of hush hush. No one knew. No one was like that. Everybody knew Von Miller was a free agent,
he
just like
he picked
OBJ.
he pulled a biggie, kicking the
He
door,
did.
waving the fofo, like, wait, where you
Right.
come from?
Yeah.
Was you on the
Everybody,
West Coast?
right. Exactly. We all knew he was a free agent, just like we knew OBJ and everybody else that's out there that's free agents. We all knew this. However, it was kind of a hush hush type thing. No one knew, or was, we knew he was a free agent, but no one was really saying anything in regards to him being a free agent. And for him to sign that 6 year deal, um, wow, I'm thinking, why the Bills signed Miller to a 6 year deal, dude, for the last 2 years. Oh wow, Anthony, you don't think Vaughn got? Oh well, he is 33, so 6 years will put him at 39.
He's 33.
Yeah, yeah, I see where you're coming from, Anthony.
He
I
might
definitely
play
see where
out.
you're coming from.
He might, if he remains consistent, and maybe not even fully consistent as the Von Miller, which you know him, but it's somewhat where he can still be a threat and a problem. He'll probably last that 6 year contract out, or they're going to basically
Mm,
release him, or they're going to get rid of him, because you got to think 20 million a year basically is what he's getting. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
So Anthony, I feel where you're going with that. I do. I feel what you're saying. Mark Miller just showed everybody it's not about championship, but it's not like that for everybody, bro. I don't feel like that. That's everybody feels that way. I don't feel like all players feel like it's about the money. Don't get me wrong, money plays a huge part of it. But some people like Tom Brady, it's not about the money no more for him. Come on, you can't really think that it's about the money for Tom Brady no more. Shit, I'm sorry, shoot. For that matter, it ain't even about championship. He has the most championships of any NFL team or any NFL person player in NFL history. So for him, it's just about the love of the sport because he don't need the money. He has 7 championships, NFL championships. Like, what else could he be playing for? So everybody, I don't feel like it's about the money, bro. I feel like you're saying it is for some. It is obviously for Von Miller, obviously for old boy who just left Dallas. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Um,
great.
for a couple of other people out there that did their thing, that moved on. It is about the money, but not all of them is about the money. But at a certain point, you want your legacy to be something somewhat about at least winning a championship to try and earn that yellow coat, that
So
gold coat.
Bishop, do you think, with that being said, do you think that Von Miller was overpaid, underpaid, or just right in this
And how much was it
deal?
again?
6 years, 120, so 20 million a year. He's getting wide receiver checks as a defensive end, as a edge rusher.
20 million a year for 6 years.
hmm He's definitely going to have to continue to produce for the most part, or he's going to lose that.
So at his age, I would think that's a bit much.
And I'm very sure all of it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, I would think at his age that's a bit much, a little bit much. 20 million a year. I don't know, man, because the way they
Overpaid.
playing these, the way they playing these, paying
That
these
is above
players.
premium for an edge rusher. That's above premium. Like that's a wide receiver's
But
paycheck.
that's a big position. That's probably
Yeah,
one of the
but it's
biggest
so
positions on the defensive
true that, true
side of the
that,
ball.
true that. But is Von Miller worth that type of money?
So see, that's what I said. At that age, I don't. So
Like
at
he wasn't
33,
even
I don't maybe
he
not.
wasn't even that he did damage, but he wasn't even that potent with on the Rams defense at the end of the day when you think about it. Like he was definitely he was definitely a factor. I mean, he was definitely he contributed, but was he that much of a factor to where he earned the $20 million paycheck at the age of 33 for 6 years? That's a big contract. Like that
But again,
solidify him. He shouldn't
but
leave. He
again,
shouldn't have to leave Buffalo ever.
but then what? This is my thing though. When it's all said and done, we just talked about it.
Hmm.
When you always refer back to Kyler Murray, it's about what you show. Look what he did in the Super Bowl.
True that. Okay.
You got to pay that man for what you just seen him do. You know what I'm saying? You have to pay him for what you just seen him do. And then we're looking at the Buffalo Bills. Look at the team in which he's going to. You
So
got to keep in mind the team in which he's going to. He's going to a team who's a very, 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 very big contender.
I would like
Number
to point
one.
out. I would like to point out that now Bishop has entered into the realm of a super fan because now he's using every topic to insert Kyler Murray into the
I'm just
conversation.
saying. I would say overpay because that's exactly what I'm saying after the. I'm just going off of what you use as a reason for Kyler
Kyler
Murray not
Murray.
to get paid, which you think I'm not, which, mind you, yet I'm not done because I got something for you later. Don't worry, I got something for you later because when it comes up, I know which has got to come up. I'm definitely got something for you because I want to hear that part too. But when it's all said and done, yeah, we got to go off of what I would have offered them 3 years, 60 million, 40 million up front.
Which
Okay,
is still 60
I
million,
think
20, but that's still 20 million a year. Like he's
facts
like
because
so
all you did is lessons and years,
yeah,
yeah,
all you
lessons
did
and
was cut
years,
it, but it's still 20 a year. Like
yeah,
I don't know, man. I just don't. I mean, of course, we're not speaking on these individuals' money. We're at this point, we're just analyzing and looking at it from a standpoint of our
right.
standpoint is like, wow, like 33 years old, 6 years
40 million
will
a
put him
year.
at 40 years old by the time he hangs him up, possibly, and a consistent 20 million a year.
I mean, and then at the time, like you said, at that point, he'll be ready to retire, if
And
not
some of
prior
that
to.
might be because you also got to take in consideration. Some of that might be about the fact of it's cold up there. Stop it, Wayne. Don't encourage him. That you know what, Wayne?
Say
You're
that
right.
part, Wayne.
In
That part,
OU,
Wayne.
you're right,
Thank
Wayne.
you, Wayne. Where you
In
been,
O
Wayne? I know you've been working, man.
in,
Sorry.
in
Where you been, man? I need backup like you, bro. Where you been, Wayne? I need man. Sorry. That's the way to come through, bro. Thank you.
you know what?
Let me ask you this, Wayne, because Trey on some other nonsense, man. Let me
No,
ask you
he's
this, man. Sorry.
at OU. He was a bad
Will
dude.
he?
He's
Don't he
not
deserve his
not in
money,
the
Wayne?
NFL. Not in the NFL.
Don't
In
he deserve his
OU,
money, Wayne?
at
Just
OU, he
let me
might
know.
have been a bad boy,
Put it
Wayne.
in the comments, Wayne. That's all. Just put it in the comments if he deserves his money.
In OU, he was a bad boy, Way. In OU, not in
He's
AZ.
still a bad boy.
In OU, yes. AZ, no. We'll give him
You
that
know
in
me and
OU.
stuff.
Uh, but yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, at this point, it remains to be seen. Thank you, Steve. It remains to be seen. It'll all come out at some point. It's going to
Stop
probably
it,
be like I
Steve.
said, a couple of years down the line. We got to see what other type of defense they put around him. But they currently got some fire. I mean, they not the. He's good at no stop it. He's good right now, but of course we'll see what's put around him. How other things work out. Of course, like you said, on paper is always on paper until you get in between them lines and action lights come on and action and cameras go.
Freddie, are you talking
Definitely,
about Vaughn? I'm assuming you're talking about Vaughn.
yeah, that's what you're talking about, Vaughn. Like you said, he couldn't pass it up.
What
In
is
which
that?
it
What
probably
you
made
say?
it might have been that like Freddie was saying he couldn't pass up like who's especially in my prime why am I passing up I'm not passing up 100 like as we said yesterday I'm not I'm not passing up
We ain't passing up base salary. We ain't
not
passing up
none
nothing. We can share it. Like
that's
Trey said yesterday,
yeah,
both of us, well,
hey,
no,
hey,
but
I wear
we can
one
share it.
you name number 7
Yeah, yeah,
and
we can
so
share it.
yeah it's
But
like
then again,
we're
you
not
gotta look at
passing up
it too,
anything.
Trey. And also with Von Miller, but think about it. Not only that, but the fact of the matter of, like we said, it ain't like he going to a garbage. He going to the Bills, who are very much so contenders, very much so a
Yeah,
contender.
yeah,
So
which he's at a piece where he could be the top player of the defense. So I can understand it. Like he was in Vaughn's. I mean, he was in Donald Shadow for the most part.
right,
Uh, so I greatly can understand it. I don't dispute that. So I can get the reason to behind it. He's basically looking at another opportunity where he get. But I wonder is that saying something about what's going on in L.A. Or is it
yeah,
just him chasing, saying, be like, I want to be the man, and this is my opportunity to be the man. They paying me to be the man. Let me
right,
go be the man.
right, right. Oh, is Steve over here reminiscing, Trey? Is he on here reminiscing about y'all flag years, bro?
Oh yeah. Steve, didn't you play for the DFAC too? I could have sworn you played for the DFAC team. You ain't play for G Unit.
He played with us? No, I don't
I
know
could have
Steve. Do
sworn
I know
Steve played
Steve?
with. I could have sworn he was at. Didn't you work at Freeman at one point, Steve?
I think I don't think he didn't play with Steve. I don't
Okay.
know. No, see, I don't know Steve. If I think because I should know Steve.
Yeah. So it must have been. It must have
We
been after.
created we created G Unit, bro.
Yeah, I thought it was after the fact because I went back at we played for G Unit. Actually, actually at the G Unit this band because they took everybody away. Well, they took y'all away.
Right.
And y'all went down to in down the street. I went and started playing with I guess you could say I went and started a franchise and got okay. He was at
Oh, he was at
Roosevelt.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up getting signed at my unit team, Ghost Rider. So I got signed there. I got a big contract to go.
You went and got signed.
Yeah, I got a
You
huge
got
contract
signed.
to go be the head up the Ghost Rider. So
Mm,
I had so yeah I went to go I got signed with the Ghost Riders and I went there. It wasn't the best of situations, and
mm.
let's just say I ended up going back home to Freeman for a 2-year deal I before I end up getting shipped to JBLM, in which I went
Okay.
there and it kind of like I started to downgrade a little bit.
Okay.
So, but that was a I got a huge contract for the Ghost Riders.
They got a huge contract.
They they signed me for
Yeah.
a pallet of MREs.
For how many years, buddy? Got signed, yeah. Whatever, hey Wayne, whatever Uncle Sam said, it was left on his army contract.
I got signed to the Ghost Riders because initially when I went to the I did 10 years with the Ghost Riders, but I didn't start out my career there. I was at Freeman, and
This
then
dude is really going in on this.
when Freeman when Freeman's team got broken down, I basically went ahead and signed with the Ghost Riders. I did like maybe 5 years, 6 years with the Ghost Riders. Although we did win the national championship in uh in Afghanistan. We did win a
This
championship in
dude, oh
Afghanistan.
boy.
Actually, I did win a good amount of the Ghost Riders. Matter of fact, playing with the Ghost Riders is what got me to play for the 13 ESC brigade team,
Oh,
and
okay.
that was my last one before I got ready to leave. They had a Commanders Cup for the installation, and 13 ES 13th SCE ended up winning that, and I played on that football team. So yeah, so good times in Fort Hood.
Okay.
I'm trying to get one last ride before we go before I completely done with it. We'll see. Um, but yeah, so uh, of course, like you said, additionally also with OJ Howard end up leaving Tampa Bay to go over to Buffalo as well. So now you have OJ Howard in Buffalo, Knox in Buffalo. Diggs in Buffalo, I believe. Cole
Yeah.
Beasley still there in Buffalo. Uh, just I'm still looking to see what they're doing with their run game because I thought they got J.D. Kissick. As I learned, J.D. Kissick turned around and went back to Washington for the same on the same type of deal, 2 years, 7 million. So he didn't end up leaving there. But also Bishop, they got a great pickup roll tie. Also, what's interesting is Chris Godwin, 3 years. He signed. Y'all know, as we know, he signed the franchise tag initially. Of course, it was a stopgap because now he got picked up the contract, 3 years, 60 million again, $20 million. Like I said, wide receiver checks being made by Von Miller. Uh, so and then of course, like now they have Gage, they have Chris Godwin, they have Mike Evans. Um, Bishop,
I
what
told
do
you.
you think?
I told you, bro. I told you when it came to what up, Sid? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. I told you, man. When it came to Tom GOAT, bro, a lot of things is gonna make some changes. People gonna make decisions, and that franchise tag was just temporary. And once he heard that Tom was coming back, oh yeah, Chris Godwin wasn't going nowhere. And he this Gronk. Gronk is next. Watch.
You think so?
Gronk ain't going nowhere.
I think
I
Gronk
know
might
you hate to
actually
hear.
be.
I know you hate to hear it, Trey. I know.
I'm not worried. I could assure you, I have the slight. I do not fear the Buccaneers. It's the Buccaneers put no fear in the 49ers' heart at all. It's not even. They should fear us. That's what I'm gonna say. They should fear us.
I feel you. 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 I don't understand salary cap rules. What do you mean? What up, JP? I see. I don't understand salary cap. Team said they broke but come up with money.
So they. Okay. Let's take
Go
this
ahead,
for
Trey. Tell
instance,
them.
right?
Tell them. Break it down for them. Break it down for them.
So let's take for instance when you take a look at it. Let's use the Saints at this
Saints.
point.
Y'all about to say the Saints. Yeah.
The Saints, as we know, was the highest cash strapped team in the NFL at -74 million, or above the cap 74 million. Currently, at this point, right now, the Saints have $229 million under the cap at this point. So when you take a look at it, of course, that's why you get those huge contracts and stuff like that because they extend the money over those contracts, with lessens their cap hits. So let's take for instance, I was about to say Brady, not Brady, because Brady don't care about the money, but
Right.
Aaron, who we know
Aaron
cares about the
Rodgers, way
money.
back. Yeah. Yeah.
Them 5 years that he got, 5 years for 150 million, but it's all kind of front loaded into the 3 years, so that way they can void out 2 years later on. But currently is under a 5 year contract, so they can spread out the money, which drops the cap space because you're looking at a yearly distance. So yes, he got paid 150 million, or he's going to get paid 150 million over the course of 5 years. But what's going to happen is he's only getting paid X amount of dollars at that time.
Right.
So yes, the first year he's going to make 50 something million. Yeah, and that's how basically I see you see it. That's how basically New Orleans got under their cap is they restructure contracts and the contract extensions because now they're adding more years to where they can spread the money out amongst those years, or they just restructure the contract where they might give someone a lot of money on the front end or back end, but it's usually you can assume that it's going to be on a yearly basis since we're talking about it because that's the only year that makes a difference. Usually every year the cap goes up. So right now we're at 208 million for the cap hit. I mean, for the cap, all you need to do is be under the cap for this year, 22-23, and you'll worry about the money later. Hence, we start talking about the what's guaranteed and what you're looking at. Like, yes, we said we're gonna pay this, but a lot of that's incentive laden, being on the team at this particular time, and all that type of stuff. Those bonuses all comes into their contract. So when you look at it, you see, yeah, he got paid. He's getting paid 51 million, but only 28 million of that's guaranteed. Then you look at it like that's how it makes it work. But if you want to really pay attention and figure out, go check out Sports Track, and it breaks down the contracts and all the rules and all that type of stuff. So it's interesting. It's a lot of different ways of how they do it with the tags, the the different types of tags, the mid levels and all that type of stuff. So It's very interesting, but that's how they basically do it. Unlike basketball, where if you have someone on your team for X amount of time frame, you can go over the cap by X amount of dollars because you control their rights. But of course, football is not like that. And basketball, all the money in basketball contracts is guaranteed, unlike football.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
So it's crazy. So, but again, as I state, as me and Bishop has talked about all the time, you ain't gotta do league minimum. What's that? 100, 700, or almost a million, close to a million. I think the league minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. 700, 800,000, something like that.
Like we talked about yesterday, ball boy. Like Leo said, hey, I'll be the ball boy. I'll be the best ball
But,
boy.
bro,
Like
absolutely
we
that
talk about,
part.
I got you, coach. I got you, coach. Hey, coach, come back, come back, come back. And like, hey, I'm
I
doing
got it. I
well.
got it. I got it. I got it. Yeah.
So additionally, Chandler Jones is now a Las Vegas
Biggest
Raider as he
radar.
signed a 3-year, $51 million deal. Just as already they have committed, the Raiders had committed 4 years, 99 million to Max Crosby. So now you have them bookends with Crosby and Chandler Jones coming around the corner. That may be a problem. They also, in that case, they released defensive end Carl Nassib, as they had to make room in this case. Additionally, what they was doing with the when they got signed Jones, they traded Yannick Ngwoke to Indianapolis for running for cornerback Rock Yassin. So basically, the Raiders was just dealing all together. They had to make room. It's unfortunate. That's what happens when we got to get under these when you got to get under the cap numbers. It becomes a situation where some people got to go. It might be some of your favorite players, but they got to go in order to make
Right.
make it work. So they brought
Right.
in some talent. They released some talent. Now that talent probably could go somewhere else, in which they're going to probably do the same thing to somebody for someone else to sign them. So I mean, it happens like that. What Bishop? Do you think if you were getting released, would you take it a certain type of way, or would you just be like, oh well? Especially if you was a talent that was, are you taking it any type of way, or you just be like, oh well, saying it's part of the business, comes with the business.
Yeah. You got to look at it as a part of the business. I mean, don't get me wrong. Deep down, and this is for anybody, when you're human, you're going to feel some type of way, especially if you didn't see it coming or they hadn't said anything to you about releasing you. But yeah, when in the long run, you just have to look at it as a business move. A business proposition. People have to make moves. People got to go somewhere. Just like with everything in regards to what they're talking about. Kyle. I mean, Baker Mayfield. You know, everybody. Everybody calls Baker Mayfield a kid, and basically he's caught up in his feelings because he did his little Twitter post. When it's all said and done, everybody's basically saying, Baker, just shut up and just play ball and stop, tweeting and doing all this. Um, you just gotta, this it's a business move. You weren't producing in an area in which they felt like you should be producing at a level which what they feel is comfortable for them out in Cleveland. They haven't released him or anything like that yet, but it is what it is. Yeah, I personally feel like it's a business move, and
Hmm.
you shouldn't feel some type of way. But we know we're human. We're going to, especially if it's blindsided. You had no idea that it was about to come about. What did you say? City said it's a good thing. City said a player is a movable commodity and they have to understand. Absolutely, City. Absolutely. I totally agree with you, bro. Totally agree with you. You have
Hence
to
the
understand
reason.
that that's a part of the game.
Hence the reason why people like um, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, even I think Matt Ryan have those, and now Kirk Cousins have those no trade
No
clause
trade clause.
contracts, so that
Mm-hmm.
way they have opportunity to control their destinies to a degree.
Right.
So
Which is surprising why more players don't have that trade.
because I
Like
think it's
I would think a
because
lot of people would have that.
yeah, but I think is what it is they have to be well only certain players get it, and so hence the reason
Okay.
why I think like I mean hence the reason the organizations look at it. I think Minnesota, and it was smart for it was smart in the case for Kirk Cousins to do it because you got to think prior to that he was being shopped or it was expected that he was going to be shopped around. So he signed the 1 year extension that gives him 2 years in Minnesota, and and of course he did the no trade clause to assure that they didn't sign him as bait and then move him somewhere else. So I mean, it's a situation in which, but not many players get an opportunity to get the no trade clause from from their organization. Only a few.
Right.
I guess some don't need it. They feel like, oh, I don't need that. They're not going to trade me anyway. So of
But
course
you're
that works out.
crazy. If you're crazy, like Sydney said, a player is a movable commodity.
Yeah.
You're crazy if you think if you feel like you could not be traded. You
So
can't
I
be
guess you
traded
can see
because
it
it
like
can happen.
like a prenup.
Yeah. You got millions of dollars and you get this girl, this woman that's off the pole or something. You don't get a prenup. Oh yeah, you might be a bit. Some people will probably question your thoughts on why you
Hmm.
do something such as that. But it is what it is. Everybody has their own reason for doing certain things. Um, this was big yesterday too. Um, uh, uh,
Mm, I seen. Yeah, so we just talk about that. So I looked at that, right, Bishop, and so
mhm,
initially I thought, was that or could that have been potentially a reason? But then again, from a standpoint of a marketer, I could have seen
right.
how, unless it was a problem with the culture around in or around the team and the area which
Mhm.
you're in, which I don't foresee it in the Las Vegas. It I From a PR standpoint, I would have did my best to hold on to him. So that's why I was saying I think he was really actually a casualty because releasing him saved them $8 million on their cap. So
Okay.
that was one thing I was like, maybe it truly was a business move, and it's just unfortunate for him because we know once he get released doesn't mean after they go through and do everything they can bring him back if the money's right for the most part. Um, and then you also take a look at I looked at Julio Jones got released.
I
So
was just, but Julio Jones' numbers was horrible. Like he only had 400 yards, 400 some yards a total,
true, true.
and no touch. I think he had one touchdown. Like he
But
did
he was
horrible. Like
injured. Yeah, he was injured the majority of the year. So I
right,
mean, was his numbers productive for the games in which he played? I know I
probably
was. It
not.
probably it wasn't productive for a full 17 game season. For the games he played, it might have said okay that was productive enough, but probably not when you look at one touchdown. Like one touchdown is productive for 4 games, let alone 6 or 7. So
Right.
yeah, but then when I seen the NASA thing, I was like, "Whoo!" I was like, is it going to be spun as such?" But when you look at its other players that got cut and got released, but then again, it could be one of those things in the culture where when Sam came out and said he was that he was gay or part of the LGBTQ plus community,
Right.
it went sideways for him as well. So like when you think about it, and that brings a good discussion possibly when it comes down to the LGBTQs uh, and plus community. What player that has come out and said that in any institution is still around?
None. And that's a good question. Like you say, when you think about it, when I saw this too, I saw that he was released by the Raiders. I was like, ooh. And I thought back, like you said, oh boy, who did it back when I think he was
Hmm.
with the Bears at the time. When he came out about himself being gay as well, like
Hmm.
you don't see him. But then I think that's the reason why a lot of players don't come out
Oh yeah,
because they feel that it may hurt their career within the league. So that's why I think a lot of them just keep it hush hush or down low or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
but it brings up, and I stood up and think about like, what if one of the top players or top names out there comes out openly? I would like to see that. If I would like to see that if that was somebody them coming out openly, what would it be like then? Because it's like, okay, uh, just anybody like your top player to come out and say,
Hmm.
"Hey, I decided to come out," and now it's like, "Oh snap!" Like, okay, what are you gonna do now? Because this is your money maker. What are you gonna do?
Right, right.
Why you say that,
Well,
Wayne?
well, so I don't know if it's necessarily a discussion, Wayne. It's just like some people, when it's all said and done, if you listen to the individuals who actually come out about being openly gay and things like that, they say it's a heavy burden upon them. And so I'm assuming that a lot of these players that are open, who come out openly gay, feel like they want that burden off their chest, and they can now, once they get it off their chest, they can focus more. Because you got to keep in mind when I'm sure that trying to hide that in a locker room full of men is probably very difficult for them. Very difficult for them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure they are gay individuals. There are certain guys in which they're probably looking at. Um, in some type of way. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm just assuming, but you got to keep in mind that they're around guys throughout the entire season, and so to try and hide that is probably a task in itself. Not let alone all the other things they got to do within the within trying to be a player. So not only do you have to do your drills, you got to do your workouts, you got to eat right and do all of this other stuff. Now, plus you got to try and keep your stuff under wraps. That's a lot. So yeah, what do you say? He said if a person is gay in the NFL, he's been gay for facts. Absolutely. Yeah, it ain't like he gets to the NFL and becomes gay. I totally agree with you, Wayne. But I'm saying the aspect of that, the fact of that they have to try and hide it because they obviously they've hidden it all the way up until that point. I'm sure they've hidden it all the way up until that point. So to do that is a great task. Um, you know,
Hmm.
we've all,
It's almost like faking.
excuse me, we've all had
It's almost
something
like
where we've
faking who
all,
you are.
right. So, because we've all had something that that's been, near and dear to us that we don't choose to allow everyone to know. And when it's something in which, um, so why talk about it? Again, to try and get it off your chest.
Hmm.
It's a lot
I would
to
think,
hold
yeah,
on to.
like basically living a lie.
Especially if you
Yeah,
coming out to especially if you coming out to your everybody, like all your people. Like, say for instance, they don't like they coming out and they ain't don't nobody know. Of course, your parents have suspicions or probably know without knowing without saying that they know. So there are some people who come out and people are like, oh, we already know, what I'm saying, stuff like that. But for those people who have parents that may not know, friends that may not know, such and so forth and so on, that is a lot. That
it's
is a
like
lot.
it's like honestly, like even if let's remove the whole aspect of it being gay, it just comes down to from a perspective in general where you look at it as a person that is a certain way or has a certain particular way about themselves that is not ideally received well, and knowing that's who they are and consistently and just having to act as they're someone else around everybody for the simple fact of appeasing that one. Over time that weighs on the individual. Always
Facts.
continually. Let's keep it real. Being an African American in saying around the time of racism,
Mm,
and or you're fair skinned enough to pass, and because you're fair skinned enough to pass, you continue to pass and stay in that avenue, and then at some point you see how others are treated in that same retrospect. And these are people that you identify with, associate with, and now it comes out to be now you it starts to weigh on you, and you figure like I have to, saying I'm tired. It's draining to continue to live this facade. And so at some point you decide, or even like a Hispanic or anyone, I mean a Latin or something like that, that can pass for whatever's going on, or heck, the people, you could take it and flip it in any way, saying to fit the narrative, but it's just draining. And so I think that's why they decided to come out to let it be known, like, this is who I am. But at that point, I would figure that it becomes a different problem at that point. And now it becomes a different situation because you're relieved from the fact, like, you don't have to hide anymore. But now that you're not hiding, now comes the problems that come with that. Now they start to look at you the same way that they looked at those individuals when they didn't know that you was that individual. And I think that becomes the stuff in which why they decide to come out and why I talk about it now, because it needs to be talked about. Like, everything, like, there's a bevy of things that need to be discussed and talked about. Just like we talk about how these players are getting the money that they're getting, is a conversation. So I think that those, whether it's LGBTQ, racism, sexism, uh, dis- discrimination, or from as far as pay, for equal equality for pay in women, all that is stuff in which to be talked about, because as we know, when you talk about it, it starts to begin a narrative. I mean, it starts to cause people to take a look at it and brings it to light. So I think it wasn't bad that he came out. But now, unfortunately, it seems like he's just another individual that has been claimed by coming out. And now, I mean, it still remains to be seen if he's going to get on with another team. But as I said before, of anyone that which just came out across the spectrum in basketball, football, baseball, soccer, any of that type of stuff, you don't really hear from or see them anymore. Uh, but of course, like you said, it was unfortunate. But I would like to believe at this point that there's a good possibility that he was really just a salary. He was a casualty of the salary cap, and we'll see if he gets picked up, because at one point he was hot, like hot for a
He
second, to
was.
where he
This
was
is not
doing
return.
damage, and then Max Crosby snatched that light, and then he took it and continued to run with it, and it just became. But I mean, evidently he was getting paid if he saved 9 million on the cap.
Yeah,
Uh, so Effie asked, would that be a problem with that being on a new team? Would it?
it
I
all depends, man.
Culture. It
It's
depends on
about
the
what's.
culture
Yep, in the locker room, right? I totally agree. It depends on
and
how
your
what team may
organization.
be. Yeah,
Like, we gotta keep in mind, the owners is old money for the most part. So it's like, how many you
facts.
owners are going to identify with that, or are going to relate to that? Unless usually money, has people who are privileged, and then they decide that they tend to think a different way. So they might have one of their own family members, or something that are that relate or identify in the same rooms and vein as that individual, that might turn them where they might be like, okay, I can understand it. Or it could be they don't like it themselves and be like, I'm the owner of this team and I'm not going to allow it. I don't want it here. It just depends. How long has NASA been around? Let me see. I'll get that question for you, Wayne.
Hey, Luke, so there's another thing big right now they're talking major about right now. While Trey looks for how long he was in the NFL. Right now, this was stated by the Browns organization. The Browns
Oh
state they
yeah.
want
Oh
an adult
yeah. Yeah.
for their
Let's
core
go.
QB position.
Let's go with that.
So
Ah,
with that
yes.
being said, they're talking about, of course, they're talking about Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, as we know, the Browns are definitely reaching out to Deshaun Watson. He's actually actually went out and flew out to Cleveland. Excuse me, and interviewed for the coaching position. I mean, coaching position, quarterback position, or looking to see if he can come to Cleveland, should I say? And so right after that happened, or as soon as Baker Mayfield got wind of that, he put out that Twitter post in regards to how he felt. Basically, in his Twitter post, everybody felt like that was him saying goodbye to the Cleveland fans and audience. Um, and so after that, the Browns organization came back with this statement saying that they felt like they wanted an adult for their QB position. Now, what
Let's
are your
talk
thoughts
about
about
that.
that, Trey? How do you feel about the
I
Browns
feel
organization being
so. I
petty?
would go.
I call it petty.
Oh no, it's
It's
not
petty.
petty. It's
It's
not
very
petty.
petty.
It's not
What? Are
petty.
you
You know why
serious,
it's not
Trey?
petty? Yes,
It's
it's not
petty.
petty. It's not petty.
Go ahead. I'm
Uh,
listening. Let me hear this. Let me hear your
I, I
philosophy on why it's not
I
petty.
feel that it's not petty because what we have now is seeing what, and I'm even scared for USC right now because what we have is we're seeing that presumably what the culture of Oklahoma has been when you look at it. Because now we have had they're talking about Bayfield is not a quarterback adult. We need an adult at quarterback. This is the same similar things which was said about Kyler Murray, also who is also a quarterback from that lineage. So I think that starts to bring that up. Like, how do you have two different people walk two different walks of life? The way the thing they have in common is the fact that they came from the same college, in which did get them an opportunity to win the Heisman, in which are Heisman winners. But we have two quarterbacks that both come from the same system that are both talked about not being adult like and being in a certain type of way. That's how I when I
So
look at when I seen that that's what the first thing I simulated like
no, what you will not do, Trey, is you will not put that. Even though I forget uh whatever his name is out in USC now. Forget him. He ain't got nothing to do. You're not gonna get me to believe a coach is influencing his players to tweet. That's something that's an individual thing. Kyler Murray, as well as Baker Mayfield, choose to tweet on their own. Now, me personally, what I feel in regards to the pettiness of the Browns is you coming out saying that you want an adult, knowing that this is a true an adult person, is just as non-adult statement as what Baker Mayfield made. If him say what you just not tweeting it, all you doing is saying it on social. You're not saying it on social media. You're just saying it. You're saying it to the reporters. But what you did by making that statement is exactly the same thing Baker did, just from a general manager or owner's position. You are basically no better than what Baker Mayfield did, in my opinion. You're just being just as petty as Baker is. That man has a right to feel the way he feels because y'all didn't own up to telling him, hey, we looking at getting Deshaun or whatever. Y'all didn't own a grown adult, a grown person, a man or a woman who's owner of a team, general manager of a team, coach of a team, should have gave that man the upside and he say, hey man, look, these are our future plans. Deshaun Watson is available. Your numbers are we weren't satisfied with your numbers. It's no different, Trey, than getting a monthly council statement and you giving your views on how you feel your soldier performed that prior month. You just
really.
letting them know. Now, if you don't give that soldier a counseling statement, don't you as an NCO haven't you failed at your duties for not giving your soldier a counseling statement for the month to tell them how well they did? Aren't
So
you
I
aren't
let
you
me ask you
aren't
this.
you not?
Let
Go
me
ahead.
ask you this, Bishop. Did you consistently across your NCO career give council statements every month to your NCOs that you were supposed to give an NCO to? Matter of fact, even better, did you consistently write do the NCR checklist or the NCR every 3 months?
Did I do the NCOAR checklist?
Yes, every 3 months. You know your the what we're supposed to give for the NCO before you write his NCOR the quarterly.
Did I do it?
Yeah, did you do your for your NCOs that you had under you?
So now I probably did not always,
So
but did I not? But also did I not get reprimanded or get chewed out by the first sergeant for not doing it? Yes, yes, and that's just the thing. You cannot do that. Is part of your duties as a coach, as an owner, as a general manager, is to inform your
to
players.
give them insight on what their on their
Yes,
performance
to
on how to
inform
better.
your players and let them know, hey, that's just the manly or the womanly thing to do. To say, hey man, we just want to let you know that this is what's going on. Hey, not necessarily saying we're getting rid of you, but hey, we are looking at this individual. That way,
So
in his
it,
mind, he knows whether or not he chooses to stay, whether he wants to go. Because then now you can say, if you give him this opportunity and you let him know, now he can say, all right, I understand. Now he can give you his feedback on how he feels about the situation, and it builds a better relationship. This stabbing in the back, going behind people's back, doing these things, that ain't cool, man. And then you want to call him not being an adult, but you doing the exact same thing. Come
It
on.
sounds like because it's an OU thing that there's a narrative being created. But I understand, I get it. I just feel like that you have two quarterbacks from the same exact system, not even a year apart, in which the same complaint is being stated about them. Now, of course, additionally, the same thing was said about Carson Wentz, who is not a part of the OU culture. Maybe he was. Was he a recruit by OU at one point?
No point in time. Now, not once. No, San Diego State, North Dakota State, or whatever. South Dakota State, wherever you. No,
I don't know. It sounds like Carson Wentz might have been the OU candidate at one, but
no,
now
no.
I'm kind of, it gives me a red flag about for USC, man. Like, is this what
But you
Lincoln
say
Riley
that.
is
But see, this is
producing?
the thing. You say that. Yeah, you should get your red flag. He's going behind. But anyway, you say that, but we don't have a problem with the CD Lambs. We don't have the
Not
problem with.
yet.
Listen, hold on. He been in CD Lamb just been in just as almost just as long as um almost just as long as Kyler Murray. But okay, let's look. We don't have the Mixons. We the Mixons. We don't have the Samaji P. Ron ain't having that problem. We ain't having a problem with Mark Andrews. We ain't having any problem with none of these other players. Why is it just the quarterbacks?
Because exactly, it's a position thing.
Oh my God. What good. Y'all got him now. Don't worry about it. Y'all got him now. Y'all deal with it. USC. Y'all got him now.
It's all
Lincoln, have
problem
fun
there.
over there. Do it to them too. Have fun. We got Brent now. Brent Venables. But it's crazy you say that because somebody who was that? I want to say that was Ryan Clark or somebody. Ryan Clark or somebody said the exact same thing what you said.
Oh,
It
really?
goes.
Okay.
He went back. Yeah. I don't know if it was Ryan Clark or it was Lewis Reddick, but it was one of them. Excuse me. Said the exact same thing. It goes back to. It went back to Oklahoma. Baker played
Yeah,
with Lamb. He did. Baker did play with
yeah.
Baker Mayfield did play with Lamb.
It's unfortunate, man. But it's like to even be looked at or seen in that vein, the worst case like that. But yeah, like you said, I do understand it did come out of nowhere because it's like, when was that even the rhetoric and that we heard in relation to Baker Mayfield
Right. Right.
after, you know what I'm saying, after all this time? And it's like, I mean, I think it also comes again emotions and frustrations. Like, you sit up and parading her in front of me or him in front of me, like, I'm
Right.
here. I'm standing here. Y'all are talking about
Right.
me. I'm standing right
It's
here.
right here. You
Like,
know I'm right here, right? You,
yeah, you know
you
what I'm
see that
saying?
I'm right here.
Hello, like, you know what I'm saying? You basically you giving
Exactly.
this you giving this man is like, yeah, so this is what we plan to run next year. Like, yo,
Yes.
I'm here.
Exactly.
Like I said, like I told the story in reference to when how they played me, how I felt like I was played when we deployed to Afghanistan. I was the
Yeah.
headquarters platoon sergeant, and they told me to stay back while my platoon moved forward. And so I'm
Right.
thinking to myself, like, okay, I'm usually one of those people that is not a problem until it's a problem. So I'm
Right.
sitting there, I'm looking like, okay, hello, I'm the platoon sergeant. And so I ain't fret with it. I went ahead, I stayed back, I moved forward with the rest of the company and went back. And of course, I continued to do what I thought I was supposed to be doing, as taking up as the headquarters platoon sergeant. Evidently, I was the last person to know because I got there and I got the first sergeant, and with something happened, we was having they had a meeting, and as I, hey, sergeant, I need you to stay back. All right, him and the operations sergeant sat me down and was like, hey, so this is what we're thinking. We don't need a headquarters platoon sergeant because yada 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 yada.
Right.
No need for a relief of cause NCR or anything like that because yada 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 yada. I'm thinking to
Right.
myself like, wait, what? Of course, I understand. I already knew what was behind, it was there's nothing I could do to control it. But you know, what I'm saying, you have that type of stuff. But I can understand, like, yo, I'm right here, and so it's just a matter of how you decide to handle that. Like, I decided to be cool for a second, and I addressed it. I addressed it when I would needed to address it. He probably look at it differently because he's Baker Mayfield. He hasn't had these problems. He was the one that planted the flag in the middle of who was that they played? And he playing, is that was that Red River Shootout,
Yeah.
the big
Texas. When we
OU
played
flag.
Texas.
Texas,
Yeah.
Tech played Texas. They plant the flag and all this type of stuff, and he hasn't had this problem. He was the number one pick, you know what I'm saying? And then now you're looking at like you're not that person anymore. And he's
I mean,
having trouble like he don't know what to do, as he stated. I don't know what to do at this point. It's
but
foreign waters
we
for
also
him.
got yeah. I mean, and Baker got to look at a few different things. I mean, because when it's all said and done, Baker for his 2022 stats, his TD to interception ratio was he was 17 for 13. He was 27th in the NFL. His completion percentage was 60%. Yeah, 60.5%. He was 27th in the NFL. And in his QB rating, he was 35 and he was 27th in the NFL.
Hmm.
So the numbers speak for themselves on why they possibly are looking at Deshaun Watson because his
Like,
numbers
yeah,
just wasn't where they needed to be in regards to what the Cleveland Browns want. And those are the things with those stats and those rankings. Those are the things as a manager, coach, a yeah, owner. Those are the things in which you bring up to him when you go to talk to him. Look, babe, look, we're looking at Deshaun. He was 20. He was bottom half in three of the categories which we look highly of being upper in the upper 10 or 20, 10 to 15. You were 26, 27, 27 in QB rating, pass to interception, and percentage. Like we need you to be better than that. So yes, we are looking at Deshaun Watson. Does that mean we're getting rid of you? No, not necessarily. But just know that now we got somebody that you're gonna have to battle for if we choose to keep. That's just the conversation in which you have to have with an adult, a player who's playing for your organization. That's just a smart thing to do. Oh, there go my LB. Look at him. Not to mention he couldn't perform with two wide receivers on his team. Okay, two number one receivers on the team. Got you.
was
Which
are we calling Landry a number one?
who else? Oh, well, Landry had to be the number one when OBJ left. When
Okay,
OBJ
but
left,
is
he
but
became the number one.
but was he a number one?
Who else would have been the number one?
Well, I'm saying was he? I understand he became the number one when OBJ left, but was he a number one? Is what I'm saying. I see what he became the number one with OBJ left, but was he? What do we say? Would we say that he's a number one? If he goes to another team, is he going to be a number one, or is he going to be a
Who you
two?
talking about? You talking about
Landry.
Landry?
Yeah.
Depending on what team he go to.
If he went to Philly, would he be the number one?
No, what Smith will be. Devontae Smith will be number one. He's proven to be a number one over there already. So that's the thing. To become a number one, you have to outshine the number one currently. Like
Okay,
or not necessarily. Well, yeah, if there's a number one over there
I get
currently,
that.
you have to outshine
He
them
was
because
he
just
was a
like
number. You're
OBJ,
right. He's
just
right.
like LBJ.
He was a number one in
OBJ
Miami.
was OBJ the number one over in LA?
No.
It was Cooper Cup, right?
Yeah, but like Herc is saying that he became leaving Miami. He was the number one. He came over
Right,
from Miami as the number one. Same thing with OBJ. He came
right.
over as a one, but then you get there and it's someone that's what I'm saying that's
You
outshining him
gotta
becomes a
outshine
different.
that person to become
Yeah.
the number one. Right, right. Absolutely right. You can't just come over there just because you came from somewhere else and was the number one. Don't mean you automatically gonna be the number one over at the team which you about to head to. Yeah, you
So I
have to
get what he's,
outshine
yeah
your
I
current
pick
number
what
one.
he's saying. Yeah, I get what he's saying. So okay, I could get down with that. I got it.
But
So definitely.
yeah. And then I think I had one other thing. Oh yeah, this is right here. This is for you, Trey. Don't look
So
like
my
that, bro.
so no, I had to really think about that. So I think it depends upon the initiative.
I mean, we're
What
talking
is
about
Colin
this Seattle
Kaepernick?
now. This is Seattle
What is Colin
who
Kaepernick
picked up
trying to
old
do?
boy.
Drew Lock.
Luck,
They got
right?
Drew Lock.
Look, lock. I don't know why
So
I want to call him luck, but it's lock. Yeah.
so when you look at it, for me, my standpoint is Colin is removed from the NFL 5 years. Right?
It's been
He
five
didn't have
years.
5 years.
Ooh,
Yeah. So he's removed for the NFL 5 years, maybe more than that, but he's removed from that 5 years. Right? Not to say that he probably wouldn't. Is like, what would be your motive? What's the motive? What's the like? Are you just looking to get back in to push your initiative to continue to push your initiative? That's fine. You know what I'm saying? You still have the freedom of speech. But are you coming in because of course we've what we heard was, and it could be a ploy to expose this conversation. Because why Pete Carroll said they didn't sign him because he believed Colin Kaepernick is a was a number one quarterback, and they did not want to pay that type of money to send him on the bench. That was what the rhetoric was.
Mm.
I'm sure any other person, any other quarterback, you would pay that type of money to keep them there if you can. If you can afford it, you would do that because if your number one goes down, you have another one in the wait, or you have this number one that's in the wait that another team needs. So now they're an asset. They're an asset because you can bring back more for them and send them on about their way to go be somewhere else. So I don't believe that rhetoric, and maybe this could be exactly what Colin Kaepernick's trying to do is expose that. It's like, okay, you said this, but let's see where what you know what I'm saying. Let's see if this is what it really was. Give me an opportunity, or give an opportunity, or one of the case may be. So I don't know. It may be. So it's just depending on what it is. What I don't want to see happen is that you have another situation like when he was supposed to do the NFL tryout. But like he wanted to dictate the environment, and he changed it up, and then we had the situation, and then he faded into obscurity again. Now he's back, which he probably is really wants to be a quarterback, and now you put him back in position to go ahead and show that he can or cannot be. Did it with Schaub. Yeah, so he's like, but now I think this puts the ownership on Pete Carroll to be like, okay, what was that talk? You know, what I'm saying that you was talking, and see if he going. I'm interested in seeing it. Again,
Would
I
you,
like to
if
see.
you were, if you're Pete Carroll, are you giving him the opportunity to work out?
I'm a big person on it. It doesn't hurt to listen. So yeah, hey, come on. It don't hurt me to bring you in for to see
And
where
that's all.
you at.
And for me, Trey, that's all it is for me, bro. For me, I feel like what does it hurt to allow him to come work out? What's the power? What are you losing in allowing him to come and work out? And that's for any team and any owner, any team around. What are you losing by allowing this man to come out and work out? Because the thing is, they're not allowed. They did. He did a open workout for everybody. Yeah, last year I think it was he did, and everybody
Yeah,
had
that
it.
was the
But
one.
no,
Yeah,
allow him to come in and work out with your team, with your players, to see if he would be a good fit. What can it hurt? What can it hurt? The man is obviously trying. He definitely feels like as though he still has the ability to continue to play in the NFL or to try and get back into the NFL. Allow the man to work out, man. Give him a workout. If he is not what you expect, or you don't see anything that you feel could be conducive to your organization, of course you don't have to sign him. But what does it hurt to allow him to work out? Though? That's the part I don't get. That's the whole part I don't get. And I truly like this is truly the definition of being blackballed. Because for this
Oh,
dude not to even be allowed to work out
strong
because of
words,
his,
bro. Strong words.
I mean, bro, over on how he feels about police brutality and all of that. He's not allowed to work. He's not being allowed to work out for any of the teams, or they're not. No, I won't say won't. It's not allowed. He's not getting the opportunity to work out for any of the teams. Should I say? And that's all I feel like he should get an opportunity to work out though. But Anthony Price has this question for you.
Um, I probably would request a trade. Well, no, you know what? Me as Baker, I think I might request a trade. I kind of look and see what's the lay of the land at that point, because like I said, you got to recognize it's a business, and like Bishop put, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do to make it happen, then you have to take that into consideration and to maybe come back. So like you just said, he's supposedly Cleveland is out. Uh, Cleveland is out. So now you have a situation to where they're going to they have to stay with Baker, or they're looking for someone else. There's still other people out there. Jimmy Garoppolo's still out there. Uh, Jameis Winston is still out there. They have to put it up against there and see and find out where's Baker at with it. You bring him in and let him compete. If Baker isn't able to compete or beat him out, then you have the free will to Baker goes to the two, go to the second string, and maybe becomes again as we were just talking about trade bait for another organization that needs a quarterback or feel like Baker would be better in their system and do the same thing. So I mean, there's options. It just what I think what comes is the most prevalent thing in these situations is the egos of these players. When you know what I'm saying it's a dog eat dog world. You got to be better than the last man, the worst man in your position.
But
And
my thing
that's
is
it.
straight. Now it does come true that the Browns are out for Deshaun Watson now. Now haven't you, as the owner or whoever came out and said this statement, haven't you killed the relationship with that now? Because
It's
now that you haven't gotten Deshaun, now Deshaun is no longer on the table. You didn't kill the relationship now between you and Baker. So you pretty
I
much
think it's
have to kind of
fragile.
like move on from Baker.
I think it's fragile. It comes out to fragile egos. Because think about this. I know it's basketball. We're about to move to basketball in a little bit because we got one more topic on football. But it's like basketball. Remember, and I hated it when the Lakers thought we was going to get Chris Paul. When we
Mm,
thought we was going to get Chris Paul, and
mm-hmm,
we was going to have Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant, and Dwight Howard. The NBA stepped in, and stopped the trade.
mm-hmm,
Paul Gasol and Lamar Odom to were supposed to be in the trade to Charlotte or New Orleans. And once the trade got stopped, they came back. Paul Gasol continued to play for the team. Lamar felt a certain type of way. He felt so bad they had to trade Lamar, in which he got traded to the Dallas Mavericks. And Lamar was still a good player for us at the time. He was in a good system that helped him, but they had to. He didn't. He felt a certain type of way. He's like, basically, he was going to trade me. So now, how do I come back and play for you?
yeah,
Maybe Pau Gasol stayed and played a little bit longer until he got traded for. He got traded. So it's like, what is? It becomes a situation where it's like it just depends on the individual. So if you're a little bit fragile in your mindset, then it might be affect you more. Or if you look at it as business, I look at it as it would be business, and I will wait and bide my time to repay the favor.
okay, that makes sense.
So of course, but lastly, what we have, Bishop, is the NFL committee has listened to the proposal. There has been three proposals in the talks for the overtime. Two
Oh
of
yeah, I
them
saw that.
two of them submitted by your Philadelphia Eagles as well as the Indianapolis Colts. Basically, your clear cut allow both teams to touch the ball or have an opportunity to possess the ball in the overtime. The Tennessee Titans had a similar one, but it was a little different. That they say allow both teams an opportunity to touch the ball unless the first team to score a touchdown scores a TD and it can convert a 2 point conversion. And if that's the case, then it ends. When it comes down to it, one situation uh, basically that situation is still reference to the coin toss because they're saying they want to remove the odds of the coin flip. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, if both teams, so if you do that one with the 2 point conversion, if a team can convert the 2 point conversion, then of course they win the game outright, and there's no reason for the other team to touch the ball. If they cannot convert the 2 point conversion, now you put the pressure on potentially both teams that have to go down and score and kick the extra point outright because now they know that's all I need to score the touchdown. The other one to realize like if we let them get into the end zone, we can lose this game. So of course that
Yeah.
proposal was proposed last this week. What's suspected is for the committee to go forth next week and come out with a proposal in which it was even kicked around. I think it was yours and somebody else that talked about the placing it on the kickers and letting them kick until
Right.
uh
You know what
from a
I would feel
distance
about it.
until someone can't kick anymore.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm still stuck with what mine is. I mean, I get it. Both teams are allowed getting an opportunity to get a chance at the ball. Uh, it is what it is because when it's all said and done, it's not their fault that it's done by a coin toss. So a coin toss, like it's your 50-50 chance if you win the coin toss. So if you, but like you say, you're a professional player, so your job is to ensure, as a defense, to stop the team from scoring. So I get where they're coming from in regards to the way the rule is now and where they want to take the rule to. However, I still stick with what I said initially. Leave it in the kicker's hands. Let's change the game all the way and put it in the kicker's hands and see what the kickers can do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all paying all these other players like millions and millions of dollars. Let's see what the kickers got. They're getting paid too. Let's finish paying them. You know what I'm saying?
I do agree. Of course, as we get ready to go into the NBA, before we go to the NBA, we talk about a little about the last night's final two games of the March Madness. But of course, as we get closer and closer, you're basically looking at about 30 minutes if you have not went ahead and got your did your bracket to get
Yeah,
into
I was
the
about to go.
first
I'm
row
doing mine
admission
as we speak
challenge.
again.
Please feel free to go ahead and do it now. As it gets closer and closer to that time in which they're going to shut the brackets down. Uh, don't miss your opportunity to get great prizes as we look to try to see who has the best, who will have the best bracket, or who will basically could do the best in choosing. Uh,
So
Let me
I
see
just
if I can
tagged
go
you in the
through.
one I did yesterday, Trey. The ones I did yesterday, should I say? I just tagged you in them. That way, I've already got it. Um, but yeah, the brackets, bro. Y'all got like Tracy, y'all got like 30 minutes for the meetings. Y'all got until tomorrow to do the women's bracket. Which are you doing the women's bracket as well, Trey, or are you just doing the men's?
Uh, I mean, if we got to tomorrow, we have opportunity of time to sit up and do both of them if I go in. And
Yeah. So definitely get the men's done, y'all. If y'all have an opportunity, go ahead and knock out the men's bracket.
so, of course, like you said, as I was trying to look and see, let me see. Uh, so of course, last night, as we stated, the final two games of the first four playing, number 11 seeded North Notre Dame was able to win in double overtime to punch their way into the dance as they beat out Rutgers. As they beat out Rutgers 89-87, they will go forth to play Alabama in the Sweet 16. I mean, in the play the field of 64. Alabama is the A seed, as well as Wright State knocks off Bryant with a 93-82 as they take on Arizona in the first round on Friday. This is Wright State's first postseason win, so maybe they are we looking at a Cinderella potentially as they if they're expected to knock off
Possibly.
Arizona. Well, you don't know. So, right at this point, the bracket is set as they begin to do theirs. I think I seen yours, Anthony Price. If you're AP something, I saw your bracket. I seen yours, so you good to go. Uh, but of course, as we get to NBA,
Yeah,
as we get to
we had a plethora of NBA games last night.
12 game
12
slate
games.
last night, man.
Yes.
Bishop went 9-3. I went
Let's
seven and
go.
five. It looked like I don't know. And see, we talked about this. I said I should
Let's
have took.
go.
I said I should have took Dallas over Dallas
The
over
Nets.
the
The
Nets,
Nets.
and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. I went against my better mind. I didn't, so that was unfortunate. Actually, we both went 9-3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Did
8,
we
9.
both go
Yeah,
9-3?
yeah, we both went 9-3.
So we still
So
even. And I'm gonna
yeah,
need
so
those
but
two
that
games
yeah,
updated.
so but that would have gave me if I hadn't with that game, that would have gave me the edge for last night.
Yeah.
Stop it, Anthony. Stop it, Anthony.
Stop it.
Stop it.
You already know. You already know it. You already.
Stop it, Anthony.
But
That's what we're
we
not
gonna
gonna
get there. Anthony. We gonna get
that
there.
we're not gonna
We
sit
gonna
up and
get
do
there,
that.
bro.
We're gonna do that. It's
We gonna
somber
get there.
times. These are somber times. So first off, we're gonna
It's
say,
somber times now.
yeah, we already know last night the hold up, let me see. Is this the first game? Was it a 76ers. Philadelphia 76ers traveled to Cleveland last night to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers as they were victorious 118, 114, improved to 42 and 26 as the Cavaliers fall to 39 and 30. 76ers led by 25 points from Tyrese Maxey, 21 points and 11 assists from James Harden, 19 points from Tobias Harris, as well as 35 points, 17 rebounds from Joel Embiid, as that heavy lifting by those three with a little help from Tobias was proved to be too much for the Cavaliers. They were led, of course, by Darius Garland's 22 points, 13 points from Laurie Markkanen, 15 points from Karis LeVert, and 17 from Isaac Oroku, 13, 9, and 3 from their freshman phenom, their rookie phenom, Evan Mobley. But it's proved at the end that the big three, Philly's big three, was too much and too late. As Philadelphia was running, but they came back. Cleveland Cavaliers came back and they just couldn't hold it. They couldn't hold it. Um,
They could
but,
not.
but they
They
still, I
tried.
still,
They tried. It was a good. It was a close game. They gave him a run.
yes, definitely. Of course, the Denver Nuggets was the next game that took went to Washington as the Washington Wizards played hosts. Uh, 127, 109. It was the in state. 42 to 28. Now the Denver Nuggets. They were led by Nikola Jokic, just 29 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, 15 points from Monte Morris, 17 points from Nyshawn Highland. Austin Rivers contributed with 13 points, and DeMarcus Cousins did in 20 minutes of play, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Wizards was led by Denia Adjiva, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 12 points from Hachimura, 16 points from Chris Porzingis, and 12 from Contagious Caldwell Pope, as they didn't have enough gas in the tank to defeat the Nuggets on their home court. They continue to try to see if they can get into the playoffs through the play-in. We don't know yet. We'll see. The Hawks, Atlanta Hawks, Ice Trey, that man Ice Trey, just
That
two.
man,
See
that bad
the
man.
two games prior to he scored 43 points and 46. Last night 9 points, 3 rebounds, 15 assists. They was led by DeAndre Hunter's 21 points. But as he said, losing 106, 116, it just wasn't enough. As the 22 points from LaMelo Ball with 11 assists, 20 points from Montrezl Harrell, 18 points from Terry Rozier, 18 points from Miles Bridges, 16 points from PJ Washington. Just wasn't enough for the Hawks to keep pace, and they fall to 34 and 35, one game below 500 on the year, while the Hornets improved to 35 and 35 at a 500 slate. 12 games left in the season. We'll see how all this tends to pan out. Uh, the Mavericks, boo, end up getting the win 113 to 111, as I so stated, but I didn't pull the trigger. I had them in my specs and I let them off the hook. They were who I thought they were. Of course, 43 and 4 and 26 now with the loss. Of course, Magic was led by Luka Doncic's 37 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist from a triple double, as he was working over his man's and dragging the Gordon Dragic. He was putting he was giving him the business. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah,
get him off me. I know Dragons is like, yo, is y'all going to help me? Like, is this my
yeah.
initiation to the team? What is going on? But like I said, 37 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 18 points from Jalen Brunson, 22 points from Spencer Dinwiddie, counting the last second 3-pointer that basically gave them the win.
And
The
that makes
Nets,
me sick, bro. Because Spencer Dinwiddie was on the Nets. They
yeah,
traded Spencer Dinwiddie. This is Ben Simmons. This is how you come back and pay your team, your former team. You go into their arena and you
and take care
put
of
a
business.
dagger in. You put a dagger in. And that's exactly what Spencer did. I was so sick when I saw that. I was like, are you kidding me? Because I like Spencer Dinwiddie. I didn't feel like we should have let him go. I like Spencer.
Mm.
I'd rather have him than I'd rather have him instead of Trey.
So of course, Kevin Durant started led the team with 23 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. Effort from Gorgon Dragic, as I said, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, but his defense was lacking, and it showed little house mouse in the house as Dragic put not Dragic as Doncic took him to the woodshed and handled business. Andre Drummond, 14 rebounds, 17 assists, 17 points, 9 assists for Bruce Brown. Patty Mills, 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Another Ofer sighting. Rookie Cameron
Uh
Thomas in
oh.
6 minutes of plays, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. Bishop, does he get a pass for 6 minutes of play and not get any buckets?
6 minutes, yeah, 6 minutes ain't a long time. That's like, man, that's one. Like, you might not even went down on offense in 6 minutes. To be honest with you, depending on how the game was going. So yeah, he get a pass for that. 6 minutes is not like 15 and 20. That's totally different.
Not it's not like 31.
31 minutes and you have no points or no stats.
Not a single
That's
stat.
totally
Only stat you got is the minutes.
that's it. Minutes. Oh, you got double digit minutes. Double digit minutes.
uh the New York Knicks played host to the Portland Trailblazers as they traveled to New York to do battle. It really wasn't a battle. The Trailblazers was led by Josh Hart, 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Contribution from Chris Dunn and Trenton Wofford with 13 points and 11 points, respectively. But the Knicks, of course, led by RJ Barrett, 31 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists from Emmanuel Quickly, 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 76 from Julius Randle, as the Knicks were able to dispatch the Portland Trailblazers 128-98, a 30-point drubbing. What's all with all these smashings, bro? Like the last 2 years has
Bruh.
been like teams are getting like throttled. Like it's been like pow, pow, bang, and then like the old Batman shows with the bang and the pow, and the music in
Yeah.
the background. That's like
Bam.
these are beatings that these teams is taking. I don't understand it. Not to mention, of
Yeah.
course, the Los Angeles Lakers travel to Minnesota to face Cat and company. The Lakers, of course, led by 19 points from 5 rebounds and 4 assists from LeBron James, 16 points from Carmelo Anthony, 15 from Russell Westbrook, as well as 13 points from Monk. But it was no match for Anthony Edwards' 27 points. Carl Anthony Towns, 30 points, 18 points from Patrick Beverly, 13 for Tamaron Prince, along with a cup of trash talking all day long. It
Oh
was just
my God. Did bro, Patrick Beverly and Big Cat was giving the Lakers the business. They
Patrick
was talking trash on top of trash, giving them boys
Beverly
the
said they stink,
business.
called them trash. Russell
Say
Westbrook
they was
shot
stepping up the place,
Russell Westbrook shot a 3-pointer and missed it,
airball
airballed
that
it.
joint,
Beverly was
airball.
throwing the ball and ducking it like he was going to hit him. Carl Anthony Towns is like, "Why? There ain't no wind in the building. What's going on?"
This is my
Like,
question.
no, they're not an embarrassment. I won't say they're embarrassment, but it's definitely not looking good. You can see the frustration. The other night, it leaked out when LeBron was in there battling for a rebound. Last week, I mean, the game before this, he's battling for a rebound. He's like, "Get the f in here! Get the f in here!" He's like, "Come on, man, get your asses in here!" So it's like
Oh
he's start
wow,
he's starting to feel like he's starting to be heated. It's
he's
just
starting to
not
get
looking.
frustrated, bro. He's definitely
Yeah,
frustrated. He's definitely frustrated with the play. I
of
mean, do you
course.
blame him?
Of course, in the press conference, Russell Westbrook was being interviewed, and he is like the trash talk doesn't bother him. He's like
It
at this
should.
point, he's like at this point, None. What has any player on that roster accomplished?
Like I could go to the Lakers and play better than Westbrook, bro. The way he's playing, I could go to the Lakers and play better than Westbrook. I'm just saying, bro. Like he talking about what have they done? Like none of them cats have done anything. Big Cat just dropped 60 the other day. I'm just saying, Patrick Beverly is killing y'all right now on the court. They just killed y'all on the court. No, Westbrook, you need to be concerned. You need to be concerned because you're trash right now. Yeah, you need to be concerned. Anthony said you can see the look on LeBron's face. He's
Yeah,
heated.
you can.
He's heated. He ain't
Who
even running
is?
back on defense, bro. Like he's not even running back.
Well,
What's going on,
he ain't
bro?
been doing. He ain't been doing that for a while though. Now, so
And I know. I said that the other day. I said the same thing the other day. I was like, man, like, LeBron is not, like he has no fight in him no more.
who we not who we do know that isn't trash and has plenty of fight. The Phoenix Suns traveled to Houston to take on the Rockets on their home court, where the Suns were led by Devin Booker's 36 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, 21 points from Torrey Craig. With a triple double of 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 26 points from Mikal Bridges, 23 points from DeAndre Ayton as they smash out the Rockets 129 112. 22 points from Jalen Green, 18 points from Christian Wood, 17 from Dennis Schroeder, 21 from Kevin Porter Jr. You hear those, but then you wonder, like, why did they get the win? No, they did not get the win. The Houston Rockets dropped to 17 and 52 on the year. The Suns improved to 56 and 14 on their year as they continue to hold their grasp on the number one seed in the West. They've already clinched their spot in the West, so I don't know how much more is it to improve for them, but they continue to do work without CP3, who will be back soon.
Yeah,
I don't, but still, I don't have them as the coming out the West for the championship. The Thunder traveled to San Antonio and what we thought would be, as Bishop called, the toilet bowl game, one of the two toilet bowl games.
hey, that was
Uh,
my big win right there, bro.
and that was a big win as the Sun. I mean, correction, as the Thunder were victorious or were took the L 120 to 122. The Spurs victorious improved to 27 and 43.
And another one for Pop.
Yeah, basically that's it. Add another one for Pop as he continues to set the record for the most career wins in NBA history. The Thunder, led by Shea Gillis Alexander's 34 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, just as I stated he would do, but it wasn't enough. He had contributes from Darius Bazley with 25 points, and as they did their best but couldn't get it done. The Spurs, 3 man in double in 20-point game, 20 point from Lonnie Walker, including the last second 3 pointer to put them up and ahead. Keldon Johnson's 22 points, 26 points from Javante Murray, 17 points from Josh Richardson, 15 points and 4 rebounds from Jakob Patel. Uh, they did work, got Pop another one as they continue to put themselves in a good position to stay into the play or to get into the play as the Lakers continue to um, down spiral. They say only credit I give Westbrook is he's right Anthony Towns and then haven't done nothing in the past years.
I mean, okay. And Westbrook, you had. Okay, don't worry, I will. I'm trying to figure out what championship you won.
Well,
Pretty much on the same level.
he's won the MVP.
The individual accolades. Individual accolades. Has Russell ever hit 60 points? No, probably not.
You know, he did what was just equally. He did 20 after Nipsey passed away. So I take
Yeah,
that.
I do. I remember that. I do remember that.
Uh, DeMar DeRozan and the Chicago Bulls traveled over to Utah to take on the Jazz. Uh, DeMar's is 25 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, coupled with Zach Levine's 33 points. Ayo Daminsu moves 15 points, 12 points from Kobe White, 10 from Vucevic and 11 with 11 rebounds was not enough as the Jazz behind 37 points from Donovan Mitchell, 26 from Jordan Clarkson, and 16 from Nikhil Alexander Walker were enough to get them to winning 125 to 110, improving to 43 and 26 as the Bulls fall to 41 and 28. Currently, they're the fourth seed in the East with oncoming teams. I don't know if they're going to hold that. They might hold that. They took off kind of early at the beginning of the year, so they might hold on to the fifth seed. I don't foresee them dropping into the play-ins. So I think they're pretty solidified, as well as Utah solidified
Thanks, Brady.
in the top part of their conferences as we get closer to the beginning of the playoffs. Of course, last night the Milwaukee Bucks were in Sacramento taking on the Kings. Giannis, 36 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Chris Middleton, 32 points, 8 rebounds, 86, and 21 points from Drew Holiday as he continues to do work, as he continues to blitz, making their their presence felt on the West Coast. Sacramento Kings are led by De'Aaron Fox's 21 points and 22 points for Domantas Sabonis, 19 points apiece from Davian Mitchell and Dante Vincenzo, but it wasn't enough as they, like you said, 135, 126. Milwaukee Bucks improved to 44 and 26. The Sacramento's 25 and 46, but interestingly enough, even at 25 and 46, I think they still have an opportunity to get into the play-in at least, especially when you have a team like the Lakers that aren't taking care of business. The last two
Mm,
games from the night, uh, Clay Thompson and the we gotta say Clay because if we don't know in the second quarter, Clay Steph Curry went
yeah,
out
that
with
that
a
game, that game, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know.
Unfortunately,
I
because I
guess
feel like
we'll
Curry
talk
went
about
to the
that in a
back.
second because I don't think they keep on talking
Yeah,
about the play was dirty. He was a bang
it
bang
wasn't
play.
dirty.
He made it
It
to
wasn't
yeah
dirty.
he made it. You got to look at the type of player Marcus Smart is. He's a
Right.
grinder. So he plays hard and he went after a
Yeah, it
ball.
wasn't
It's
dirty.
unfortunate. He rolled up, but Marcus Smart 20 points, 4 rebounds, 86, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists for Jalen Brown. Tatum 26 point, 12 rebounds, 4 assists as the Boston made short work as the Warriors. Jordan Poole scored 29 points, 18 points from Klay Thompson, and then the kind of stops there. They didn't have any other real support as with a bunch of
Mm.
threes, twos, fives, and sevens. Of course, Steph Curry went out, like I said, early 3 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists in 14 minutes of play. Um, as the Warriors took the L 110 to 88 on their own floor, falling to 47 and 23 on the year. Boston improves to 42 and 28 as I think they have taken the actually correction. The Bulls are now the fifth seed, and Boston jumped in with the win over Golden State, jumps them to the fourth seed, leading by a half a game as we get again closer and closer to the playoffs. And with the last game on the West Coast last night, the Los Angeles Clippers played host to the Toronto Raptors, in which was a close one. The Raptors was able to become victorious 103 to 100. Clippers are now 500 at a 36 and 36 record. Toronto is 939 and 30. For their record. Scotty Barnes, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 21 points from Van Fleet. But the team was led by Pascal Siakam's 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Clippers was led by Reggie Jackson's 23 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists, 22 points from Marcus Morris Sr., 16 from Terrence Mann, and Isaiah Harrison contributed with 12 rebounds, 5 rebounds, and no assists for the for last night's final game. Of course, tonight, one game slated should be easy to pick. You have the Detroit Pistons versus the Orlando Magic. Who you rocking with, Bishop? One game, one band, one sound.
I'm going with Detroit, man, on the road. I'm gonna take the Pistons, man, to get an upset on the road versus the Magic.
See, I think I got to change my mindset because every time I think this is my opportunity to game a game, then it always means my opportunity. It also ends up becoming my opportunity to lose a game. But I think I could agree with you No, you know what? I'm rocking with Orlando. Scared money don't make money. I will rock with Orlando
Facts.
as I think Cole Anthony, Markel Fultz, and company will be able to get the lone and only game for the league, put on a show, and don't get outshined by March Madness. Let's go, Orlando. I need y'all guys. Uh, what else we got? Of course, the second round. I mean, the second part of the first round of the NIT played last night. Uh, I got something for you, Bishop. If you had a
What's up?
choice right now, this is what I like to ask. If you had a choice right now, who would be your MVP in the NBA?
Ooh, that's a good question, bro. We know Joker's doing his thing. We know
Hmm.
Giannis is playing great ball as well as Embiid. Um, we got the three towers that's killing the game. And then we got those outside kind of like looking in, which is the Jobs, the KD. Because I think the only reason KD's not in that talk is because he had that time in which he was hurt. So we got to keep needs. Um, but to narrow it down, bro. And then you got Booker doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a collector of people that's shining right now. But I still think it's out of the top three big, which is like I said, Giannis, Joker, and of course Embiid. And if I would have to give it to somebody right now, it would probably have to be the Joker, man. The Joker, like he just shined the other night against Embiid.
You
He showed
going
why he
back to
was,
back?
yeah, he's showing why he was the MVP of last season. And so, yeah,
I,
probably
I
have to.
agree. I agree. It's interesting enough that we have three international players that are up for the league's coveted award. It Embiid, uh, Jokic, and Giannis. One in which Giannis, if they do, if Joker does win, that'll be the last four MVP awards have went to international players, in which each one won it back to back. So, but
Mm-hmm.
right now it's looking like potentially like even Embiid or Joker get it again. If Joker gets it, it'll be another disappointment because Embiid is always like right there, and it might be a
Right.
situation where it's
Once
like,
again,
"Yo,
yeah,
what do I have to do
to get the get
to
the
get
get the
this?" Or
title,
you know,
yeah.
like I want it just to become a point where you be like, "Yo, Of course, we always hear "Oh, I'm not really worried about it," but if I'm able to get it, you want it.
Right. Facts. Absolute facts.
So currently, like I said, we have the number one seed as the Heat in the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks, 2 games behind at the number two seed. The 76ers, 3 games behind the Heat at the three seed. The four seed, the Boston Celtics at 42 and 28, 4 games behind. The Bulls, as we stated, 4.5 games behind at the 41 and 28 at in the fifth seed. The Cavaliers are currently holding on to the sixth seed, uh, puts the Raptors, the Nets, the Hornets, and the Hawks in the play-in. But the Raptors are currently tied at the sixth seed, tied with at the seventh seed, which means that can go either way. Um, they could be they're tied. The Nets are 3.5 games out of this seventh place and the sixth place at this point, which puts them in a
Mm.
pretty good standing at 36 and 34. The Hornets at
Right.
500 are is 4.5 games out of the sixth spot at the ninth seed, and the Atlanta Hawks are the 10th seed currently at but puts them basically 5 games out from the sixth spot as they're 34 and 35. Right behind the Hornets is the Wizards in the 11th spot, basically 4.5 games behind the Hawks for the 10th spot. And after that, it's probably just this. It's not going to help anyone else. Um, Everyone else is basically almost basically mathematically eliminated
Yeah.
at this point, but they could get into the play in at minimum.
Yeah.
Curry out indefinitely. Mm.
What? I didn't hear that. No, that's huge. If that's the case, that's huge. That's
Uh,
huge.
the Suns
Because
at 56-14
how far
are
are they behind? The
The Warriors are in the third spot when they're 9 games behind the Suns.
third spot. Oh,
Grizzlies are in the second spot, 8 games behind. The Jazz are the fourth spot, 12 games out of first, but they're only 3.5 games behind the Warriors. The Mavericks are 3.5 games behind the Warriors as well at the fifth spot. The Nuggets are six on the 16, 14 games out, 42-28. However, they're only 5 games out from the third spot. So this can go left real quick for the Warriors. Timberwolves are in the seventh seed because so they're still in. They're currently in the play-in, which they would play the Clippers if the play-in was to start today. Timberwolves, the Clippers 7-8, the Lakers 9, the Pelicans 10. Excuse me. The Pelicans are basically a game and a half in front of the Spurs. The Spurs are 2.5 games uh, behind the Lakers. The Trailblazers are 2.5 games behind the Lakers. Uh, yeah, it's starting to heat up. The Lakers are with the down spiral they're in 10, 11 games, 10-game losing streak on the road.
mm. Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad.
I was about to say, hell, I was trying to see what's the if the Rockets was on, it was Rockets was to go on a winning streak, they would probably catch the Lakers to get into
Ooh, that would be
the
embarrassing.
play-in.
That would be embarrassing. If the Rockets didn't do like it. No, that's crazy.
It's starting to heat up, man. Come
It
on,
is.
LA. Come on, bro. Fight, get out, do something.
Beat somebody or something. Do something.
They got 13 games left. Matter of fact, let me see what's the Lakers schedule. What's the rest of the
They
Lakers
got
schedule?
13 games left.
They got 13 games left.
Yeah.
So the 13
Who they
games
got tomorrow?
remaining.
Who they got tomorrow? Who the Lakers got
Tomorrow
tomorrow?
they play. Tomorrow they play. We play the Raptors again in Toronto. Another
Oof.
on road game. Then we go. We travel to Washington.
This
We
is on
travel.
Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday we go to Washington. On the 21st we go to Cleveland.
Oof.
Then Philly travels to us. We go
Oof.
to the
That's a
Pelicans
loss.
on the 27th. We go to the Pelicans on the
Oof.
9th. We go to the Mavericks. Then we go
Oof.
again. We go to the Utah on the 31st.
Oof.
The Pelicans come back to us. The Nuggets we play on the April 3rd in LA. The Suns, oh my goodness. The Warriors, the Nuggets, and the Thunder. Oh my goodness.
Bruh, it's not looking good for y'all. Y'all possibly can win two to three games on that
Yeah.
run.
The
Next
way
stretch.
they've been going, we're looking at 2 3 games, going 3-10 over the rest of the season. 3-10 the rest of the season.
That's crazy.
But actually, I think we can get. We got 3 games against the Pelicans, 2 games, more games against the Pelicans. We might could split one
Yeah,
of
but
those, so
y'all better hope
that
CJ.
could be
Y'all better
four.
hope CJ don't do his thing though.
That could be 4-9, maybe even 5-8 if we can do that. I think we would catch. I think we would catch. We will catch one of those teams that we could catch the Cavaliers slipping. Um, I think we could catch the Mavericks slipping. One of the Nuggets slipping. I think we could in those 13 games we could do that.
That's a bunch of slipping. I'm just going to tell you that's a whole bunch of slipping. Just
I
so
think
you
we
know.
could come. I think we could come out victorious. I think in that 13 games, I think we can win. I would be going out willing to go out and say we can win 7 of those 13 games.
Ooh, ooh, I'll give you. I
7 over
believe
the
you.
next 13 games.
Ooh, you doing a lot, bro. You doing a
7
lot,
of
bro.
the next 13 games, we can get it.
You doing a
We can
lot,
get.
bro.
We could get seven of the next 13
4.
games.
I give y'all 4.
When I start looking at, we could get seven. We could get seven. We could get
Stop it.
seven.
You don't even believe that.
We could get seven. Actually, I really do. I really do. We could get seven.
You don't believe that, Trey. You do not believe it, bro.
Yeah, I
You do
think
not
we can
believe
do
that,
that.
Trey. Stop it.
Come on, let's go, LA. Seven to 13, baby. Let's get it. 7 to 13. That's all I need. 7 to 13.
Stop it.
What are you talking about? Let me see what who the next got. What's their last couple of
Well,
games?
see, our thing is the fact that we ain't got Kyrie for too many. Now, I think we got Kyrie for 3 more games now. So,
Uh so y'all have Kyrie for the Pistons game. The net well, hold up. Y'all have 13 more games yourself. Um y'all play the Trailblazers at home. One, two, three. Wait, hold up. I have a lot of games left on the road, at home.
I know the majority of our games left are at home. That's why we only got
Yeah.
Kyrie for 3 more games.
Oh, okay, okay. You're right. You're right. Oh, okay, I see. I was looking
Yeah.
at the opposite way. Yeah. So yeah, y'all got only 3 games away. Y'all have so y'all 13 game slate. The Brooklyn Nets they play Utah next at home. They play the Grizzlies on the road. They play the Heat on the road. Then they come back and play the Hornets at home, the Pistons at home, the Bucks at home. Then they go to Atlanta to play the Hawks on April 2nd, in which that would be the last home game they have, and they finish out the year with in going to Houston on the 5th, going to the New York on the 6th, going to Cleveland on the 8th, and going to the Pacers the Pacers coming to them on the
Okay.
Pacers coming to them on the 10th. So one, actually, you have a yeah. In which y'all, like I said, you had 3 games, 3 away games: Grizzlies, Heat, and Hawks. Mm.
Yeah.
7 games, LA. Come on, Russ. 7 games. Give me 7 of them, Russ. Get me 7, Russ. Let's go.
Give you 7 games, bro.
That's all I want. 7 of those.
Oh, it's crazy
Cause
now.
it started to get
Yeah.
it started to get it's get hard to defend these guys.
Yeah.
Get the brackets in. Get the brackets in.
I just
Let me
finished
see.
another one. I tagged you in all my brackets, so I just finished another one. Which you'll probably be surprised on who I picked as a winner.
I was having a warm and fuzzy about who I picked. I was like,
What the hell? Man. The Eagles extend Howard Roseman. Philly general manager now signed to 2025 after agreeing to a 3-year extension, multiple reports. Good lord, bro.
yeah, I still don't see your bracket. I see JP. Uh I see Strack. I see Lemons. I see Ron's. I see Jackie's. Boss 9197. So far, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people that is in the. So, of course, that is our show for today. We greatly appreciate y'all playing, uh, rocking with us this morning, being here. Information. course, y'all know tomorrow we'll have Ron Lowe in the building as we continue with our antics and talking about these things. I know he's going to have some excuse. I know Bishop is waiting to holler at him about that last Philly game. Which who did they lose to?
Who?
Philadelphia the night before last, not this
The
week.
76ers?
Yeah, they
They
lost
lost
to
to the
somebody.
Denver.
Okay, yeah, they lost to Denver.
Joker went on.
They head to
Well, he
head.
didn't go off, but he had a good game against him.
Yeah, so of course we have Ron in the building tomorrow as we continue talking about what the
Make
things.
sure you
Hopefully,
have
we.
Ron's. Make sure you have Ron's record. Make sure you
He's
have that for him.
Yeah, so we talk about that. Of course, maybe we might have a conclusion to the Deshaun Watson saga. So we'll talk about that. Of course, the first round of the Sweet 16. See if we the 64. Maybe we'll be talking about them upsets. You know, what I'm saying the highlights, them buzzer beaters. Y'all know what it is. March Madness. But we greatly appreciate y'all talking to us. Have Rich go ahead and take us out there.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing, bro. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all have a great Thursday. Have fun with it. We'll see y'all on tomorrow. Get those brackets in. Well, it's a little late now. If you ain't got it in now, you probably it's too late for me. If you want to put your women's in, go ahead and put your women's in. I think y'all got until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow to get the women's bracket in. I feel you, Anthony Price. That women's bracket do look good.
We greatly appreciate y'all coming out. We enjoy the rest of your day. At this point, show attention. Fallout. All right, I see you, L.
I say, Cyro 5 military fraternity in